Game lines, headlines, and hard opinions. This is BetMGM Game Day on Westwood One Sports.
When the games get bigger, the crowds get louder, and the excitement reaches a new level. Be part of the playoff action when you bet with Boosted Odds. Activate your Odds Boost token for any bet on the NBA playoffs, and you'll receive a bigger payout if your bet wins. Get ready for tip-off with BetMGM. Alex Gold, Austin Huff with you, and we'll be handing things off on Westwood One Sports here in about 20 minutes or so. We have 2 minutes to go in the Cavs-Raptors game. It's 124-109. Cleveland going to take game one of that series, and we are just underway in the second game of the day. Nuggets, Timberwolves, and then also later on tonight at 6 o'clock, Hawks, Knicks, and as we've spent a good time talking about the Rockets and the Lakers. When you think about the NBA postseason, one thing I think has been very evident, and we know this, I guess it happens in the NFL playoffs. It certainly happens in October baseball. But, man, the intensity level from the play-in games or even today and watching a little bit of the Cavs game, it is night and day. Like, you know, the casual fan that wants to knock the NBA and all the bad headlines about the NBA all year, ratings are up, attendance is up in the league. And the intensity, though, today and yesterday, et cetera, from playing games, it is just it's a different league. It looks like a completely different league we're watching.
One of my most popular unpopular opinions is and I still firmly believe this. I think the NBA playoffs are better than March Madness. And I say that to people and they're like, what? Are you serious? Like you're that's ridiculous. But when you watch the actual basketball being played, like you're seeing the best players in the world play their absolute hardest for 48 minutes every single night. It makes for incredible basketball. And look, are there games in an 82 game season where guys kind of phone it in or maybe don't go as hard or have to conserve their knees, make business decisions? Sure. But all of that gets thrown out the window for the NBA playoffs, and it makes for some of the most fun basketball you will ever watch. If you truly sit down and watch, a lot of people that push back on it are like, well, have you watched the NBA playoffs lately? And they're like, well, no, but I watch March Madness and I love March Madness, the buzzer beaters. Yay. It's like, no,
sure.
Watch the NBA playoffs and you will be like blown away at just how amazing the basketball is, both just the basketball IQ of it, but then just the intensity like you were talking about.
Yeah, it's so obvious to watch the difference. You know, I don't necessarily agree on the March Madness thing, but that's also because, look, I don't have an NBA team, you know, so my intensity level as a fan is different. I don't live in an NBA market. I never have. I guess for a brief period of time I worked at one, but like that's probably more of a me thing than anybody else. So I'll side with March Madness, but I'm with you on what you said at the end, which is the basketball level, the shot making, the intensity, all that. It is simply incredible to watch. And we had 3 more games today, and we got a full slate tomorrow. And as we all know, the joke, of course, about the NBA playoffs, it's April, and this thing's going to be going until almost July 4th. We've got plenty of playoff baseball or basketball ahead of us.
Which is funny, you know, we didn't even bring up, the Stanley Cup playoffs going on, which is, you know, currently they're getting ready to start next week.
Yeah.
And, the Stanley Cup itself tweeted, the Stanley Cup itself tweeted, I am ready earlier. I believe yesterday tweeted, I am ready. And it's like, okay, that's good that you're ready, Stanley Cup, but also we have about 2 more months until you will be handed out to anyone. So, you know, it's like it is fun. Like, yeah, look, I love this time of year. The tulips off of State Street in downtown Chicago are blooming. You know, the weather is turning. The NFL draft is upon us, and you've got both the Stanley Cup playoffs and the NBA playoffs like starting. It is a great time to be a sports fan. But you have to remember that when it comes to those 2 postseasons, it's going to be like a few weeks until we crown a champion. It's going to be about a couple of months. So just hold your horses.
Yeah, you mentioned the NHL. One game is already underway in the East. That is the Hurricanes and the Senators. Into the first period, they're scoreless. Another game going to start at 5:30. Puck drop there. Wild and Stars. And then the late game tonight. This will be a fun one. We talk about intensity of fan bases and stuff. You got the Pittsburgh Penguins, the Philadelphia Flyers.
Yeah.
This game in Pittsburgh tonight at 8 o'clock over on ESPN. A big week for Pittsburgh. They got that, and they got the NFL draft taking place Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Trust me, I looked, Austin. I'm going to be in Pittsburgh, and I looked to see if the series was going to align. I've not gone to a playoff hockey game before. Unfortunately, I believe the schedule not going to work out to where the Pittsburgh Penguins would be hosting. I think if it was a Game 7, I think that's in Philadelphia. I could be wrong. But either way, I don't think they'll be playing in Pittsburgh during the draft. Otherwise, I've considered staying an extra day.
That would have been awesome. And the Pirates aren't in town either, which speaking of,
that was an amazing thing. Yeah, the downtown stadium there, the view, it looks incredible. I haven't been to PNC Park. We're actually doing our shows there locally next Thursday and Friday from PNC Park. That's our setup. And I'm looking forward to the view. But yes, I wish Paul Skeens was pitching in front of me while I was doing my show. That'd be fun.
Yeah, right. PNC Park I think it's one of the best parks in all of baseball, and that's one of the reasons why I've been so upset that the Pirates haven't, they've pumped so little money into their organization. It's because when that city is like, when the Pirates are in the playoffs and the whole stadium, just wears black and packs out PNC Park, it's one of the best atmospheres in all of baseball. But don't sleep on the Pirates this year. Even as small as their payroll is, they're tied for first in the Central.
Yeah, Connor Griffin's up.
The Connor Griffin, their pitching is really good this year. Like the Pirates, low key, I get it. It's a long season. You don't want to buy in too much, but they're young. They're spry. They don't know any better. Don't sleep on the Pittsburgh Pirates this year. And that just paired with, the Penguins in the playoffs, them getting the draft. It's a good time to be a Pittsburgh sports fan for sure.
Yeah. And as I said, the draft is there. So let's wrap up just final thoughts on the draft. The next time we're on the air, it'll be day 3 of the NFL draft. So there'll be a ton, I know, to discuss next Saturday with how the top 10 and the first round go, and any of the surprises and trades that occur. Your final pick here, where does Jeremiah Love go? Because I think that's the player that nobody can really make their mind up for sure on where he's going to go. The favorite landing spot is Tennessee at 4.
Yeah.
But as I said, I think the Giants would be a great fit. I think the Commanders, if he makes it all the way to 7 and they don't pull off a trade, is also a fit. Where do you ultimately think Jeremiah Love ends up?
Yeah, because I said I think the Tennessee Titans are the fork in the road for this draft. We know where the top of the draft essentially is going to go. Maybe not in a direct order. Like we know Mendoza 1. We know probably either Bailey or Reese are going to go 2 and 3 potentially. Like that's all but set in stone. Tennessee is, I think, the outlier here. A lot of people are saying Jeremiah Love. I could very easily see them go with an edge rusher there, depending on, what happens before them, or maybe even not depending. I could see them maybe trying to go with a Bain, because you got to, and you made a great point earlier in the show, look at who their head coach is. They bring in Robert Saleh, and they've already got a strong defensive line. They want to open up slots for Jeffrey Simmons. They want to make that defensive line elite, and they could do so with an elite edge rusher. But with all of that said, I actually personally, I think they will go Jeremiah Love. I think it's going to be a Wendy's value menu. I think they're going to use 4 for 4, and I think it is Jeremiah Love in two-tone blue. Well, I guess I don't even know if they're technically still two-tone blue because they got the new uniforms, but I think Jeremiah Love will be a Tennessee Titan by this time next week.
What helps the rookie or now second-year quarterback more, Cam Ward? Having a stud at running back, or having a ridiculously dominant defense that allows him not to have to go and put up 28 points a game or something crazy like that? That, to me, is the balance. If Robert Saleh was not their head coach, I would be like, oh, it was easily Jeremiah Love. Because Robert Saleh is the head coach is why I think there is a chance they still go defensive line.
And it's not like their running back room isn't decent already. Like, they've got Tony Pollard, who put up an 1,000-yard season last year. They got Tajay Spears to kind of spell him, and so they are pretty strong in at that position already. But Jeremiah Love is just, I mean, he is a generational talent, in my opinion. So I think like you kind of have to. And like, what's to say? Like, who's to say you're not reliving? You know, we talked so much about nostalgia in the 90s and the NFL is going back. The Titans are going back to their old Oilers uniforms. So like, why not go back to 95, 96 when you drafted Steve McNair in the first round in 95? And then the very next year you drafted Eddie George. Why not replay history? Because you had a lot of success with number 9 and number 27 in your backfield. What's the difference between that and having number 1 and number 4 in your backfield?
No, that's fair. And it's definitely gonna change how the top 5 goes. One last question on this one. Ty Simpson, likely gonna be the second quarterback off the board. We both agree he's in the first round, right? Where does he go though? How high can he go? I think there's no way he's drafted before 15. And not even after, I'm just making it as a benchmark. He's going to go after the top 15.
You think he's after the top 15?
I think he's going in the 20s or something.
I agree. I think I would even say 25 or later. Like I think it's at the end of first round, potentially even falls to the second round.
I would be surprised just if he falls to the second, only because it's still I understand it's not a great class, sure, but quarterback, right, somebody will take advantage of that. Maybe they like the 5th-year option or something like that. But man, that's going to be one to watch for Pittsburgh or the LA Rams. I told you, I think they should look into him.
Or maybe even, I love him going to the Rams. Don't sleep on the Browns picking him up at 24. We know how the Browns love to draft a quarterback, as they showed us last year. So,
if the Browns, oh man, that's true. That's true. I actually think Deshaun Watson's going to start week 1 for Cleveland, but we got months to figure that one out. He's Austin Huff. I'm Alex Gold. Hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend. We're talking draft next Saturday here on the show, some NBA postseason. We'll see you then.
This is Westwood One Sports.
It's game day. Are your moderate to severe Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keeping you from the action? Skyrizi, risankizumab Riza, could help you get back to the game. Skyrizi is proven to help people feel significant symptom relief, achieve remission, and visibly improve damage of the intestinal lining. Skyrizi is a prescription injection medicine for adults. Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines. Liver problems leading to hospitalization may occur when treated for Crohn's or ulcerative colitis.
Control is everything to me.
Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 prescribed biologic in Crohn's and ulcerative colitis combined. Learn more at skyrizi.com or 1-866-SKYRIZI.
Choose to lean into it. Every Mazda is engineered to give you effortless control.
I wake up.
For those with type 2 diabetes or high blood pressure, you may be missing a hidden signal from your kidneys, an SOS for an increased risk of cardiovascular events like heart attack or stroke. The mission? Detect the SOS. Start at detectthesos.com. Learn how a simple UACR urine test can help identify kidney damage early. Talk to your doctor about getting screened. Go to detectthesos.com to learn more about UACR urine testing today. Brought to you by Boehringer Ingelheim Pharmaceuticals, Inc.
You know that voice, the one that says, not today, next week. It's probably nothing. It's very convincing, reasonable, calm, always has a plan that involves doing this later, much later. And then there's the other voice, quieter, harder to hear, the one that says, just take care of it. That's the one to listen to, because when you show up for yourself, you break through. Confidence unleashed. Find a dentist near you at smilegeneration.com/confidence.
What's going on? I'm Arch Manning, Viore athlete and college quarterback. Whether I'm running, training, traveling, or just unwinding at home, I love doing it in my core shorts from Viore. With a breathable boxer brief liner, they're quick to dry, super versatile, and stand up to even my most intense training sessions. Plus, they come in 3 inseams and a ton of colors. Ready to try a pair? go to viori.com/arch and get 20% off at checkout. I think you're going to love them as much as I do. That's VUORI.com/ARCH and get 20% off your first order. Exclusions apply. Visit the website for full terms and conditions. Not only will you receive 20% off your first purchase, but enjoy free shipping on any U.S. orders over $75 and free returns. Have a great day.
Blowing ad budget on metrics that look great till the CFO sees them? That's bull spend. And marketers are calling it out in Dashboard Confessions.
I remember telling my boss, it'll be good for the brand, when leads were slow. Yeah, it wasn't.
Cut the bull spend. LinkedIn lets you target by company, job title, and more. Advertise on LinkedIn. Spend $250 on your first campaign and get a $250 credit. Go to linkedin.com/campaign. Terms and conditions apply.
Our yoga instructor challenged us to find inner peace. I found it faster than anyone. After 4 seconds, I stood up and screamed, "I found Nirvana! I win!" They asked me to leave. I guess they don't respect winning. Bet365 does, though. New customers get $200 in bonus bets just for betting $10. Namaste, losers. Bet365. Winning is everything. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-MY-RESET. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. T&Cs apply. In-app only.
When I damaged my car, I was worried it could be a long process to take care of it, like a landscaper's first day trimming a hedge maze.
I've definitely already been here.
But the Geico app let me file a claim in under 2 minutes.
It feels good to get help quick. It feels good to Geico.
The new Wegovy pill is now available through Weight Watchers. Powerful GLP-1 results in a simple pill at the lowest price available. And with Weight Watchers, you can get doctor support and personalized nutrition programs. See if you qualify at WeightWatchers.com. Ad not reviewed or approved by Novo Nordisk.
Hey, America, want to save $1,000? That was a rhetorical question. Switch to Spectrum and save $1,000 guaranteed. Seriously, you can hold us to it. We call it the Spectrum Savings Guarantee. Just get fiber-powered gig internet with equal upload and download speeds for just $50 a month. And when you switch 2 mobile lines, we guarantee $1,000 of real savings in your first year, or we'll cover the difference. Again, that's a guarantee. You don't get many of those in life. Learn more at spectrum.com/get50. Spectrum Internet is powered by fiber and connected to the premises by coaxial lines. Restrictions apply.
You're listening to Westwood One Sports on WFAN FM HD2 New York, an Odyssey sports station. Always live.
Westwood One Sports presents Josh Graham.
Welcome into the Josh Graham Show, rolling on till 7 p.m. Eastern Time. We're going to be bringing you live updates from day one of the NBA and Stanley Cup playoffs. That includes T-Wolves Nuggets, 21-12 advantage early on for the T-Wolves in Denver. That might be the best first-round series in the NBA. My Carolina Hurricanes, no score through one with the Ottawa Senators. It's lit in Raleigh, North Carolina. But that all can wait because we're less than a week away from the NFL draft, and there's one pick that is drawing a lot of the attention, absorbing a lot of the oxygen out of the room. The Kansas City Chiefs will be making a pick inside the top 10 of a draft for the first time since they moved up to take Patrick Mahomes in 2017. Moving up to the number 10 pick close to a decade ago, that fact alone makes their pick at number 9 perhaps the most intriguing pick in this entire NFL draft. Kansas City GM Brett Veach spoke to the media this week about that pick, and here's the extent of insight he was willing to share about what they might do.
There's a lot of areas to improve on our roster on both sides of the football, so I think it does open up that 9 pick to go in any one direction, and you know, certainly we'll see how the first 5 or 6 picks go, but I think whether it's you know, the defensive backfield, the offensive line, edge rusher, receiver, again, you know, we need help in all those areas. So I do think that, you know, we'll be in a position there to get one of those players.
Yeah, we might be able to get an edge rusher. We could get a receiver there, maybe offensive line. If he really wanted to troll us hard, he said, who knows, maybe there'd be a really good quarterback there as well. Might as well just say every single position. This is the reality for Kansas City at 9. the Chiefs are almost guaranteed an opportunity to land a star with the number 9 pick. So what's the best case scenario? What's the worst case scenario? What's the most likely scenario at Arrowhead? The best case is Miami pass rusher Ruben Bain. If Ruben Bain falls to Kansas City at number 9, race to the podium, get the pick in. Oh my goodness, how did we let this happen? With respect to David Bailey and Arvell Reese, he's the most talented edge in this draft. He has the highest ceiling among the edge rushers. Teams, they can easily overthink things. Maybe it's the arm length, as if they hadn't learned their lessons from letting Micah Parsons fall outside the top 10 and other players as well. Maybe it's these recent headlines that resurfaced, even though teams had known about that car incident for a long time now. It's multiple years old. If Kansas City gets Bain to complement Chris Jones and Karlaftis, Steve Spagnuolo still around at Kansas City, the Chiefs' defense becomes very scary. And he becomes a star very quickly in the AFC and helps Kansas City right away. The most likely scenario for Kansas City is Arizona State receiver Jordan Tyson. He's probably going to be there, but then again, receivers, when they become hot names, they fly up draft boards. This year's receiver group, a lot like last year's, where there aren't a lot of top flight guys, so if you want one, you're going to have to get one early. Teteroa McMillan, who ended up being the Rookie of the Year for Carolina, he wasn't really projected being a top 10 pick until draft night, when everybody learned, hey, we really like this guy. There aren't a ton of great receivers in this draft. So Carolina took him at 8, and a lot of the reaction was, damn it, that was our guy. That's how Dallas felt. Apparently the Rams were trying to move into the top 10, and they were picking 26th. They were trying to give up a ton to get there. That's how teams might feel about Jordan Tyson. He did his individual workouts for 16 NFL teams on Friday. He apparently dropped one ball the entire workout. He's not escaping the top 10. He could go as high as Tennessee at 4, maybe the Giants at 5. When you have all these teams with multiple first-round picks, there's always the chance for a lot of trades. Brett Veach actually even said that. This is going to be a really entertaining draft. There's going to be a lot of trades that happen. Think about what Kansas City's done this offseason. They signed Super Bowl MVP Kenneth Walker from the Seahawks. They already reunited Patrick Mahomes with Eric Bieniemy. If you do that and then equip Patrick Mahomes with Tyson, that would be a monster addition to go along with, Travis Kelce and some of the normal characters we've gotten to know in Kansas City. And Andy Reid knows a thing or two about offense. So that's the most likely scenario for Kansas City with that pick. The worst case scenario, they go with safety Caleb Downs or draft a starting tackle. Caleb Downs could be the best player pound for pound in this draft. It's just that he plays safety, and we don't really see safeties being taken in the top 10. The last time we saw a safety projected to go this high, Jamal Adams for the Jets, and that was in the same draft as Mahomes, if memory serves, 2017. Downs could be the best player. Incredibly smart, played for an awesome Ohio State team. If you take him, then you got talent at all levels of your defense that will elevate Kansas City too. He becomes a star. And if you go offensive tackle, there are 3 really good ones at the top. Spencer Fano, probably the one that makes the most sense given the pick at 9. You're talking about a player that's going to protect Patrick Mahomes for the remainder of his career. So there's your best case. There's your worst case. There's your most likely case. We put it to you. Who is the best case scenario for Kansas City at 9? Who's the guy you think Kansas City is crossing its fingers and realistically thinks there's a chance could fall to them at the number 9 pick? 310-840-46 4910 if you want in. 310-840-4910. Will Dalton is the producer of this program. We've got Josh Jacobs. Yes, that Josh Jacobs taking your calls at 310-840-4910. This segment. Will Dalton, what do you think the best case is?
I mean, me personally, I feel like if they went Kenyon Sadiq, because think about this.
Kansas City?
Yes.
Sadiq in the top 10?
Correct. Because, I mean, they've got Gronk, and they're trying to get him in there for a couple of more years. But think about this. Kenyon Sadiq comes
Maybe
in,
choke
learns
my
under Gronk.
Gatorade. Whoa.
Yeah. They're going to need a new tight end before too long. Gronk's not going to be there that much longer.
You love Kenyon Sadiq. Holy hell. Wasn't ready for that. Also wasn't ready for that Gatorade to go down the way that it did just a second ago. This is live action, Tracy. Apologies for that.
Yes, it is.
310-840-4910. Wasn't ready for that take from you. Goodness. If you have one of what you might suggest for Kansas City, 310-840-4910. This segment is sponsored by Progressive Commercial Insurance. They protect small businesses with affordable coverage options. Get a quote today at progressivecommercial.com. That wasn't the type of distraction, intervention, if you will, I expected with this show, because you know what also just happened as I was disrupted in that type of way too. The Carolina Hurricanes went up 1-0 in their Stanley Cup playoff game with the Ottawa Senators. Jacobs, this is the part where we need, if something happens with the Hurricanes hockey game, to have a goal horn sound. If you have a Hurricanes goal horn, we need to let that rip just so we can provide some updates in this game, because what might set me apart with my feet being on the ground in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, than any other national host in America, I venture to say, I defy you to find an exception to this, I might be the only Carolina Hurricanes fan that is a national host in the country. Do we have? There you go. It's a beautiful thing. 1-0, the Carolina Hurricanes lead. The most interesting, shall we say, first-round series in the NBA just might be the Rockets and the LA Lakers. Mostly because, and this series is going to tip off tonight at 8:30, but mostly it's because absurd overreaction is guaranteed. It's inevitable for this Rockets-Lakers loser. Let's try to game this out. Understanding how the media apparatus works here. What overreaction do you know is coming with the Rockets and Lakers, depending on what happens? See, whenever LeBron loses in the playoffs, dumb legacy talk, it follows. You know it's coming. Here's a line you're almost certain to hear. Remember when LeBron had never lost a first-round series? And all the LeBron people said, well, Michael lost in the first round 3 times. Well, this would be LeBron's 3rd first-round defeat. So get ready for that. You're going to see some of that. And then there's the added wrinkle of not knowing where LeBron's career might continue next season. Is it going to still be in LA? Is it Cleveland? Maybe Golden State after last night? Who knows? So that overreaction, you know, is coming if the Lakers were to lose. The overreaction's also going to be quite volatile if it's Kevin Durant and Houston going down. It's always going to go back to his decision 10 years ago. That's the part that's really obnoxious about this. Because it's always, well, what has he done aside from the time he was the best player on one of the best teams in NBA history? Other than that, what else do you got? He hasn't done anything with his own team, which again is dumb. We don't really dignify that. In both cases, if LA were to lose or if Houston were to lose, it doesn't seem completely fair to pile on either LeBron or KD, because LA might be missing the scoring champ Luka for the entire series here, and Houston's had a ton of injuries as well. Well, in fact, KD listed as questionable going into tonight's game 1. Questionable to play in it. In terms of who wins the series, the Rockets, they are our pick to win in 6. The bulk of our logic is we don't buy that Luka is going to be back for LA. If he does return, it's likely not until Game 6 that happens. And part of it is wishful thinking that Houston wins. Because if Luka returns and the Lakers win this series, the amount of annoying Laker upset picks over OKC in round 2 is going to be ridiculous. It's going to be obnoxious to use that word again. Let me demonstrate. Hey, Will Dalton, if Luka is healthy and the Lakers are playing OKC, what happens?
I think the Thunder still win. But I think it's a heck of a series.
Oh, no, don't do it.
Why can't it be a good series? It's
God,
Luka
because
we're
the
talking
Lakers
about.
aren't good enough. No! See, there it is.
Luka and Austin
there
Reeves.
it is.
If he gets back.
It's that sentiment.
I didn't say they were going to win.
Man.
It's be a competitive series. 6
Huge
or 7.
Fan. Huge fan. Oh, my God. Huge fan of Will Dalton as the producer of this show, because I think I'm coming in with some pretty measured, sometimes maybe some hot takes, talking about best case, worst case for the Kansas City Chiefs. And then he throws out there a guy who might not even be in the first 20 picks that Kansas City should take at 9 as the best case scenario. That, again, is why Will Dalton is throwing high heat, high cheddar inside, buzzing the tower with the takes there. And then right there, saying, oh, I think OKC is going to win. And it's the okie doke. We think, oh, he is on planet sanity. That's good. And then it's, no, but it's going to be a great series, as if the Lakers aren't losing that series in 5. As if they're not going to lose. That's going to be closer to a sweep than you get to a 7-game series. Oh, but they got LeBron and Luka. Don't care. It does have us in the spirit of making predictions, though. What better time is there than today to tell you who's going to be winning that Larry O'Brien trophy in June? We'll share that with you. Kevin O'Connor, by the way, is going to join us from Yahoo Sports and the Kevin O'Connor Show at the top of next hour at 5 o'clock. So we'll share our NBA Finals picks and get to your ideas for Kansas City at number 9, 310-840-4910. All of that next on The Josh Graham Show.
Is Ohio State about to dominate the first round of the NFL Draft? The Buckeyes have 5 players projected in the top 15. Downs, Tate, Styles, O-H, I-O? React with us Thursday as it all goes down from your home of the NFL, Westwood One Sports.
Give your car the spring cleaning it deserves. At Tidal Wave Auto Spa, you can wash away winter's dirt and grime with a top-of-the-line car wash that leaves your car shining on the outside and fresh on the inside. Plus, every wash includes free vacuums, microfiber towels, and interior cleaning spray so you can finish the job. In just minutes, your car will be looking its best again. That's the clean car happy feeling. Tidal Wave Auto Spa makes it quick, easy, and convenient. Find a location near you today at TidalWaveAutospa.com.
Straight Talk Wireless presents Pickup Truck Wisdom.
Trust is earned. That's why I've stuck with Straight Talk. Same price since 2009 on Verizon's 5G network. Cause shoot, anyone can make a promise. Keeping it for years, that means something.
Now plans starting at $25 a month with 4 lines. Find us at StraightTalk.com and Walmart. Straight Talk Wireless. Straightforward. Always. Same price claim applies only to the base monthly price of our $45 plan from October 2009 to present.
My son loves to fly kites, but my active psoriatic arthritis can sometimes hold me back. Now with Skyrizi to treat my skin and joints, I'm ready to go. Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults, helps with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue. For those who also have plaque psoriasis, 90% clearer skin is possible with just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Nothing is everything.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
With Skyrizi, there's nothing like clearer skin and better movement, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi today and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
For those with type 2 diabetes or high blood pressure, you may be missing a hidden signal from your kidneys, an SOS for an increased risk of cardiovascular events like heart attack or stroke. The mission? Detect the SOS. Start at detectthesos.com. Learn how a simple UACR urine test can help identify kidney damage early. Talk to your doctor about getting screened. Go to detectthesos.com to learn more about UACR urine testing today. Brought to you by Boehringer Ingelheim Pharmaceuticals, Inc.
Choose to lean into it. Every Mazda is engineered to give you effortless control.
I wake up.
I was going to make a dentist appointment. I really was. But then it rained, and I thought, that feels like a sign. Then it stopped raining, which also felt like a sign. Then I got busy. Then I got hungry. Then suddenly it was somehow October. We're very creative when it comes to putting things off. Until we're not. When life needs you strong, you break through. Confidence unleashed. Find a dentist near you at smilegeneration.com/confidence.
What's going on? I'm Arch Manning, Viore athlete and college quarterback. Whether I'm running, training, traveling, or just unwinding at home, I love doing it in my core shorts from Viore. With a breathable boxer brief liner, they're quick to dry, super versatile, and stand up to even my most intense training sessions. Plus, they come in 3 inseams and a ton of colors. Ready to try a pair? Go to viore.com/arch and get 20% off at checkout. I think you're going to love them as much as I do. That's VUORI.com/ARCH and get 20% off your first order. Exclusions apply. Visit the website for full terms and conditions. Not only will you receive 20% off your first purchase, but enjoy free shipping on any U.S. orders over $75 and free returns. Have a great day.
Every Nissan Frontier is battle-tested. Its frame is twisted. Its door slammed 13,920 times. And its bed drop-tested over and over. We do all that to the V6-powered Frontier, so you never have to hold back. Nissan, ranked #1 in new vehicle quality among mainstream brands by J.D. Power. For J.D. Power 2025 U.S. Initial Quality Study award information, visit jdpower.com/awards. Awards based on 2025 model year. Newer models may be shown.
Progressive knows you want to get away, but not like too away. You crave the unknown, but also charcuterie boards with 4 types of cheese. And that's exactly why you bought an RV and bundled it with Progressive, because 24/7 protection is one luxury you'll never have to give up. So go ahead, explore the wilderness, all from the comfort of your zero-gravity camp chair. Switch to Progressive and protect your RV, boat, or motorcycle by bundling with your home or auto insurance. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Blowing ad budget on metrics that look great till the CFO sees them? That's bull spend. And marketers are calling it out in Dashboard Confessions.
I remember telling my boss, it'll be good for the brand, when leads were slow. Yeah, it wasn't.
Cut the bull spend. LinkedIn lets you target by company, job title, and more. Advertise on LinkedIn. Spend $250 on your first campaign and get a $250 credit. Go to linkedin.com/campaign. Terms and conditions apply.
Westwood One Sports presents Josh Graham.
We're off to a roaring start here on the Josh Graham Show, where I was attacked by a surprising cough mid-first segment. That's always good fun. And Will Dalton accidentally called Travis Kelce Rob Gronkowski.
Gronk.
These are the things that happen sometimes. What was that one more time, Will?
No, I did. I I said Gronk when I meant Kelsey.
It happens. Mm-hmm. Who is the best case scenario for the Kansas City Chiefs with the number 9 pick? 310-840-4910 if you want in on the program. NBA playoff predictions. The playoffs have started today. In fact, already have a final in the books. The Cleveland Cavaliers, 126. Toronto, 113. It really wasn't even all that close. The Cavs handling business in the mid-2000s blue get-ups that they've brought back and worn more regularly this year. All about that. Like the first tenure of LeBron James, what he would wear with Cleveland, Donovan Mitchell with 32 in the game, James Harden with 22 and 10. Cleveland up 1-0 in that series. We'll get to some of the live updates of things in just a little bit. How about we frame it this way? Rather than pick every NBA playoff game, here are 3 bold NBA playoff predictions. And maybe the boldest is this. The Minnesota Timberwolves are going to make a surprising run to the Western Conference Finals. Just like he did 2 years ago, Anthony Edwards, he's going to lead the Wolves past Joker in the playoffs. That's probably going to end up being the best series in round 1. This isn't something we're basing on the first half of the game that we've watched so far today, where right now Minnesota has a 5-point lead in Denver to open things up. They have that lead despite the fact that Anthony Edwards hasn't really popped off yet, only has 5 points so far. But let's not forget, 2 years ago, it was Denver coming off a championship. Everybody thought they'd beat Minnesota. Minnesota wins the series before losing to Dallas in the Western Conference Finals, and then Dallas was beaten by the Boston Celtics in the NBA Finals. But in that series 2 years ago, let's just ask ourselves a couple practical questions. Do you think that Minnesota's better now than they were 2 years ago? Because I do. Do you think Anthony Edwards is a better player than he was 2 years ago? Yeah. And then with Denver, are you convinced that Denver's a better basketball team than they were 2 years ago? Don't think so. And I think a lot of the things that were answers a couple years back still remain answers for Minnesota. Think that they get through round 1. And in round 2, honestly, if you can find the answers to beat Nikola Jokic, you can also find the answers to beat Victor Wembanyama. The Spurs and Wemby, fantastic story this year. You could make a really strong case that Wemby should be the MVP. In fact, Kevin O'Connor's made that case, and Kevin's going to join us at the top of next hour talking about his MVP vote. But we all know there is a dramatic difference in how the playoffs are officiated versus the regular season. And when you watch San Antonio play, there is some question about how they're going to deal with the physicality of the playoffs and just how tough they are. This is where there is value in having playoff experience. Minnesota has it, and they've got Julius Randle and Rudy Gobert and just tough SOBs up and down this team that, again, if you can find the correct answers to get past Denver with Jokic, I think it's actually realistic. You can get past the San Antonio Spurs too. So they're going to the Western Conference Finals. Second bold take. The Oklahoma City Thunder and the Boston Celtics cruise to the NBA Finals. That might not sound like that bold of a take to you. Well, let's make it bold. They do so in 15 games or less apiece. 15 games or less apiece. Got OKC winning their first round series against Phoenix in a sweep, their second round series in 5, and then they take their conference finals against Minnesota in 5, possibly 6. That gets you to 15 games. The Boston Celtics Gonna work Philly. We'll call it 5. Annihilate the Knicks, especially after what happened last year. They'll sweep that series. Then they'll win against the Detroit Pistons in the conference finals in 6. 15 games or fewer for both Boston and Oklahoma City, cruising to the NBA Finals. The matchup that we all want to see, we're going to get. The Celtics, with a healthy Jason Tatum, are going to represent the Eastern Conference, which leads us to our third bold take here. A Celtics Thunder series will remind us why the NBA Finals are so special. You got to break this down a little bit. You got to break it down. I am a lover of college basketball. March Madness, the NCAA tournament, it's the best postseason in all of sports, period. However, the NBA Finals, I think, are better than the Final Four. Because you're guaranteed to have the best teams at the end, pretty much, when you have best of 7 series in the NBA versus college basketball. And having matchups and having it be a series, the chess match that comes along with that, the matchups and figuring each other out and knowing tendencies and maybe some bad blood brewing too. Having 2 truly great teams facing off in a series, Celtics Thunder, that's as good as a punctuation point, as a punctuation mark, as a landing the plane, a dismount, as any league in sports has. And a Celtics Thunder series would remind us just how special the NBA Finals are. We're not going chalk either in picking OKC. The Boston Celtics are our pick to win the Larry O'Brien Trophy. Because it does seem as if we are forgetting how dominant Boston was at this time 2 years ago when they won the title with Tatum and Brown, and we were talking about how this could be a run of things that Boston goes down, that this happens several times. And a year ago, even though OKC won the title, they didn't do so in dominant fashion. It went to a Game 7, and Tyrese Halliburton's hitting threes in the first quarter, then tears his Achilles, and they lose. Indiana does. So I'm not a believer that if it's Boston in the finals and OKC there, that Boston can't dismantle OKC. Dismantle might be too strong of a word, but we like Boston to win the series. In fact, we're going with the Celtics in 6 to beat Oklahoma City in the NBA Finals. So there you go. 3 bold NBA playoff predictions right off the rip. Will Dalton, what's the boldest of the 3? That the T-Wolves get to the Western Finals, that the Thunder and Celtics get to the Finals in 15 games or fewer, or that a Celtics-Thunder series is going to be won by Boston?
I think it's the fact that the Celtics beat the Thunder in the finals. I think that's the one.
I forgot you don't like the Celtics.
No. By the way,
you've been picking against them the last 2 years, every series. See, we've known each other for such a long time that there's something about the Celtics that you just keep to yourself and keep close to you that you haven't conveyed. Like, we're going to learn some origin story with you that, like, kind of like Batman had, like, his parents were killed by a robber in the street, and that's what fueled him wanting to be a crime fighter. We're going to learn that, like, in your origin story, that the Boston Celtics did something to you when you were younger that has harbored this resentment that inspired you to be a talk producer, and at every opportunity, you just dog on the Celtics. I don't know what it is.
Well, to continue on with that theme, I don't have either of those teams getting to the finals. I don't.
So you have a Pistons Spurs?
No. Cleveland and Spurs.
Oh my God.
And the Spurs win the title.
Oh, boy. Okay, well, I'm not going to mock a Spurs pick.
Yeah. Cavs beat the Celtics
Cavaliers
in the Eastern Conference Finals. That's how that happens.
Ugh. Disgusting. That's... Whew. No siree. Not doing that. Do you want to remind the people what team you picked to win the finals at the start of this season?
I think I had the Dallas Mavericks getting there. I don't know that I had them winning it.
You had them coming out of the Western Conference.
Coming out of the West, though.
And they might have been the worst team in the West this year.
Cooper and Kyrie and AD and all of that, I thought it was going to work well. I did. And Clay.
Yeah. Well, I can't talk too much. I had the Orlando Magic coming out of the East.
You did.
Yeah. I don't... We watched how they looked last night against your Hornets, though. I don't regret it.
The best they've looked all year long. That's the one time they've looked like that this year.
That's what I thought they were going to look like this year. Knew they had it in them.
Yeah, well, at least they did last night.
Checking the scoreboard, we're getting close to halftime with the T-Wolves and the Nuggets. It is the T-Wolves 45. It's the Nuggets 40. Are we going to sound the horn again? No, we are not. The Carolina Hurricanes lead 1-0 on the Ottawa Senators. You know, let's actually put a pin in the hockey talk momentarily because there's a lot going on in baseball. Holy cow, what? Your Yankees were up 10-0 and now win 13-4 against the Royals? That's something. Putting it on Kansas City. Needed a big hit late last night, got it, the Yankees did. It's going to be a very distracting show today because there's only two teams that I root for with a lot of heart and vigor. It's the Carolina Hurricanes hockey team and it's the Baltimore Orioles, and they're both going to be playing during today's show. Make sure if you haven't already, you're subscribed to our YouTube channel at Westwood One Sports Night. As many of you are, you can chime in the chat that way, as James is doing. NBA on Amazon Prime. Nice marketing, but the Stanley Cup playoffs aren't hard to find at all. So some might not be watching the T-Wolves because they don't know it's on Prime. Thus, you throw on the Hurricanes facing the Ottawa Senators. We got Grand Strander. We need to decompress a little bit. Holding off on the general second hot cup of tea of the week. Like the state of mind. Folks chiming in here on the chat. 310-840-4910 if you want in as well. We have our podcast feed. You can subscribe to Westwood One Sports Night as well on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. You won't believe, frankly, how the Stanley Cup playoffs started today. That and the sports talk equivalent to an electric dog collar are next on the Josh Graham Show.
This Thursday, it's the NFL Draft, and several teams could be wheeling and dealing. Cowboys, Browns, Jets, Chiefs, and Dolphins all have multiple first-round picks. Who will be bold enough to be on the move? Your home of the NFL, Westwood One Sports.
Shriners Hospitals for Children has been creating wonderful opportunities for children in need. This life-changing medical care helps them do the things they've always dreamed of. Go to loveshriners.org.
If you've got spring fever, Lowe's has the cure. During SpringFest, make your landscape stand out with 3 free bags of Miracle-Gro 3/4 cubic foot garden soil when you buy 3. Plus, get up to 40% off select major appliances to keep clothes, food, and dishes fresh all season long. Our best lineup is here at Lowe's. Valid through 4/22 while supplies last. Selection varies by location. See Lowe's.com for details. Soil offer excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
Wendy's new Biggie Deals lets you choose whatever you're in the mood for. It's like a music mixing board of deals, and you're the producer. Go with some chill folk music with a JBC in the